Okay, here we go. All right, trigger warning here. We're going to talk about body image. So if that is a sensitive subject for you, I suggest skipping this one. I am 48 years old and I still struggle with obsessive thoughts about my body. I still struggle with disordered eating. I still struggle with obsessive compulsive fitness habits, and I still struggle with binging. And it is incredibly frustrating to me to admit that or to experience it at all. I have been really proud of myself this summer because I have a new hobby. I've been paddleboarding. I've been loving it so much. And I have had to wear a bathing suit in public for the first time pretty much in my entire adult life. I don't think I have worn a bathing suit in public without a cover-up over it since I was 12. So doing that has been incredibly freeing in many ways. It's been wonderful and healing to be at the lakes and to see other women and to see that what I am witnessing on social media is not an average slice of life. The amount of perfection on social media and the perfect bodies is very different than what is out there in the real world. I had no idea how different it was. It feels weird to say that, but I think that's kind of common for people when you are so inundated with images from social media, which are all perfect and can be made perfect without a lot of effort, with the right lighting, the right poses, the right photoshopping. But I think after years, over a decade of being inundated with those images, even a middle-aged woman with an advanced degree can become forgetful. Like, we can buy into the illusion that's being created there and forget that things do not look that way in the real world. And so it has been incredibly healing to see all of these women at the lake who look a lot like me or different. And they look different, like everybody's got a different size, a different shape. I feel like when I'm on the internet, specifically on social media, which I am hardly on at all at this point, but my past exposure to images on social media would suggest to me that 99% of women have perfect bodies and meet patriarchal beauty standards. And then there's me and maybe a few other women like me who are ragingly imperfect. When you get out into the real world, when we put our phones down and touch grass, it's astounding to realize how skewed our beliefs are, our perception of the world and of other people are because of social media. So I have been really excited to let that influence me in a really positive way, to realize that I don't look perfect either. And none of them are wearing cover-ups. They are all in the water or on the water, having fun, living their best life. And admittedly, I don't know what's going on in their head. I don't know how hard it was for them to put the bathing suit on that morning or to take off their cover-ups when they got to the shore. I don't know. Maybe it's the same as it is for me, which is very hard. Regardless, though, we're doing it. And I have been proud of myself, and I'm proud of every woman who does that. However, I still have days where I really, really struggle with it. I really struggle with the way that I look, the way that I see myself, the way that I think others see me. It can be really hard for me to put on a bathing suit and go out in public. I kept thinking that it would get better and easier, but it doesn't. It's just some days are not easy and some days are, and I never know which one will be which. I never can predict it. I just wrote about having a day where it was really hard for me. I put on a bathing suit and I could barely get it on. I don't know if this is true for other women, but I find that I have a very difficult body to buy clothes for. Like, my proportions seem very off, at least in terms of like off the rack clothing. I mean, in general, I feel like I'm pretty proportional, but clothing would suggest otherwise. I cannot buy pants in a size that will fit my waist because those aren't big enough to get over my butt. My butt is so huge. I have to buy the next size up to be able to pull the pants all the way up. But then they're too big for my waist. And so they're always sagging and falling down. And my bathing suits are the same way. And so I'm trying to buy more form-fitting bathing suits so that I can have an ease of movement when I'm on my paddleboard. But that means that I have a really hard time getting them over my giant butt. And I almost ripped a bathing suit the other day trying to do this. I also have these weird moments that this just started happening in the last year or so, not even that long, maybe 6 months. I will wake up in the morning some days and I look 6 months pregnant. And I don't know why. And I wrote about this as well. I'll put the link to the essay in the description. But, you know, friends will say, oh, you're about to get your period. Or, oh, you probably ate a bunch of gluten. Or, oh, you've probably been overeating and not noticing, like snacking too much and just not noticing. None of these things are ever true. Like, I'm not about to get my period. I haven't been eating more gluten than usual. I'm not snacking more than normal. It's like we're afraid to not have an explanation for why our bodies do things that don't make any sense. And I think we particularly feel that way in middle age as women going through perimenopause because we have so little information about this process. Why is it that some days in perimenopause we wake up looking pregnant? I don't know. There's probably a reason, but I don't know. So I feel like we come up with these ideas of why something is happening to our bodies, and it gives us the illusion of control. In this case, I'm not going to let it stop me, and I'm trying to celebrate this as well. Like, even though I'm frustrated that I am obsessing about it, I'm thinking about it at all, at least I'm not going to let it stop me from going to a lake and getting my paddleboard out. I'm trying very hard to realize that these obsessive thoughts did not come from myself. This is not like a mental illness that I was born with. This is mental issues caused by our culture. This is caused by all of the teen magazines that I read that were constantly feeding me information about the minute details about what a woman's body should look like, how we should groom it, what we should weigh. And then you have the media and everything that you see on TV and in the movies. And then on top of all of that, we also condition men to play a role in this, in policing women's bodies, policing their weight. And that has been, I would say, one of the most abusive recurrences that I have had with men, whether I was dating them or not, was the constant criticism about my weight and what I looked like. This is the space that I seem to get stuck in when I am struggling with my own body image issues. It's always around the echoing of their voices in my head. That's where the obsessive thoughts come in. I can hear the words that they said in their voices over and over and over again. I can't imagine what it would be like to put on a bathing suit in the morning and like what I see. And to go out on the water and to strip down to that bathing suit and feel proud about it. I want to never again hear my ex's voices in my head. I want to obliterate those words forever. It feels like it would be so rebellious and audacious to just go and wear any bathing suit that I want and not care. That's the piece that's missing here. The not caring. The I'm going to show up and do this and wear this and not think about it. Not wonder what everybody's thinking of me. Not wonder what I look like. That is the part that has to be fixed. I think I could just go out. I mean, I've been experimenting with wearing bathing suits in public more and more. So I think I could do it. It's just, how do I get to the point where I'm just doing it and there's no mental narrative going on in the background? Like, that's all I want to be experiencing, is to put on the clothes that will achieve the objective that I have for the day, which in that case would be having a kick-ass time on my paddleboard. And I don't know how to do that. And I'm tired. I'm tired of being in this headspace. I'm tired of thinking about it. I am tired of any of those horrible ex-boyfriends like taking up space in my mind. I don't know. But I think it's definitely something that never fails to come up for me. Every time I think that I've made a lot of progress, that is usually immediately followed by a little bit of a hit, a little bit of a relapse. Maybe it's just a 1 step forward, 2 steps back kind of process. I don't know. I mean, God knows I've been in therapy around this off and on since I was 16. So I would like to think I'm making some progress, and I guess I must be if I can wear a bathing suit in public now. That is progress. That is huge. But I wish I could go all the way. I wish I could get my mind back, my soul back. That is what I really want.